Hello and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. On behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you joined us for the Precious Metals and Critical Minerals Conference. Our next presentation is from Grid Metals. Please note you may submit questions for the presenter in the box to the left of the slides, and you can view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings by clicking Book a Meeting in the top toolbar. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Robin Dunbar. He's the President and Chief Executive Officer of Grid Metals, which trades on the OTCQB venture market under the symbol MSMGF and on the TSXV under the symbol GRDM. Welcome back, Robin.
Thanks, John. It's a pleasure to be here today. And I'd like to say thank you for having us in this conference, and hello to everybody that's listening online. Today, it's my pleasure to talk about our company, Grid Metals Corp, and what we're up to in the province of Manitoba in central Canada. And I think it's a really good time for people to hear the story who are just hearing the story for the first time, as we're really at an inflection point for the company, as our title says here, poised for discovery in southeast Manitoba. And critically, we're in the process of exploration drilling at two key projects currently, both in Manitoba. And so this is an exciting time for Grid Metals. Here's a disclaimer that some of the information I give you is potentially forward-looking statements, and to consult your investment advisor before buying any stock. So just to go through the highlights of the company, the map on the screen that you can see is the location map of our key projects in Manitoba. And on the left of the screen, you can see the provincial capital of Winnipeg. Geographically, we're just north of the state of Minnesota for our friends in the U.S. To give you a sense of the location. It's about an hour and a half north of the border, and our key projects are all, within a couple hours of the provincial capital of Winnipeg, which is a city of just under a million people. And the two key projects that we're working on currently are the Falcon West cesium project, which is a metal, an alkali metal, very critical metal used in a lot of high-tech applications. And the second is the Makwa nickel copper PG project. And both are at the exploration and discovery stage of the Lassonde curve, which is really what we're trying to make a discovery and dramatically increase the value of the company. We've taken a while to get to this stage in terms of all the prep work for these projects, permitting, getting the technical data compiled, and in the case of the Makwa project, bringing in a major partner for funding, and I can talk about that. That's the Teck Corporation, one of the largest mining companies in North America. So we're now fully funded for all this work, and we just closed a strategic financing of about $4 million. And then we had two investors. One was an institutional investor who came in and topped up to keep their 19.9%, and the other was a undisclosed strategic investor that is new to our company. They're a large industry player, and they're very interested in particularly in our cesium project. And they came in, and we think at some point in the future, not too distant future, we'll be able to disclose who they are, because we think that'll be viewed very favorably by the market. And so really what we're trying to do in the next few months here is, with the successful drilling, re-rate the stock and really lay the groundwork for the growth of this company and building our business going forward. Just to the projects I'm going to talk about, Falcon West is the most southerly green block of those are claims that we staked. They're acquired from the provincial government, and that's a large property. And you can see there's a highway running through that. That's the Trans-Canada Highway. So this property is kind of unique in that the occurrence that we're drilling is about 400 meters off the Trans-Canada Highway, which is the major highway in east-western Canada. And then the other project we're going to talk about primarily today, the Makwa project, a little bit further north, and that's again road accessible. So the infrastructure in Manitoba is very good. You know, we have a very supportive provincial government. We have you know, good relations with the First Nations. We have good roads and power and infrastructure. So all in all, both our projects are really well located. And I must say that you know, it's important. We have a team in Manitoba consisting of geologists and staff who are local, and as such, you know, we have a lot of expertise locally in terms of our workforce, and we're able to keep costs very low, which is important because currently we don't have any revenues from our operations. We're an exploration company. The first project I'm going to talk about today, and you know, which is a very exciting project for us, is called the Falcon West cesium project. And you know, I know the theme, one of the themes of the conference today is talking about critical metals. You know, I'd say that this is a very critical metal, and it has a high degree of global scarcity. And you know, there's just a very few number of cesium deposits in the world historically and currently, and the cesium market currently is controlled by a Chinese entity, Sinomine, which they have about 85% of the world's cesium market, and part of their operations are actually here in Canada, about an hour away from us. They bought the Tanko mine in 2019, and they're still producing small amounts of cesium. Cesium is hosted in a mineral called pollucite, and this is the key target of our current drilling. And pollucite is you know, very rare mineral, and it contains up to 40% of cesium. And this is the primary mineral that people in the business look for to find and extract cesium from. And we started a drill program at the end of October, and our goal here is to come up with a globally significant near-surface cesium resource. And this would be very unique because there's only been 3 producing cesium deposits in the world to date. And there's currently 2 other companies in North America that, and actually worldwide, that have cesium deposits in pollucite. So, and neither of those are producing. So very rare commodity, and it's one that you know, we're fortunate to have on our property and to be drilling. The first program that we're doing at the Falcon West property is drilling a small area, 150 meters by 40 meters at very close spacing. And the reason we're doing that is because pollucite is quite a fickle mineral to find and can come and go. So in order to get the data points we need for a resource, we have to conduct very close spacing. We think that you know, should we be successful in this drilling, that Falcon West really has the potential to address the global shortage of cesium feedstock which currently exists. And by that I mean there just isn't any in essence raw material to feed the chemical. There's just a small number of chemical plants, one in Canada, one in China, one in Germany, that primarily produce cesium chemicals, and there isn't any cesium or very much to feed those facilities. And in some cases they're just living off feedstocks and remnant mining. So it truly is a very scarce mineral, and we think that you know, if we're successful, it's going to really differentiate grid metals. Just to give you a little bit about information about cesium, it's just recently been defined as a critical mineral by both the U.S. and Canada, and it's has a lot of emerging applications. I'd say the chemical market for cesium is in the range of $400 million per annum. And there is a fairly substantial market in additives for drilling fluids, and cesium is used in a cesium formate solution, which is put down the holes to facilitate the drilling. It's very dense, and it's also environmentally friendly, so it's non-pollutant. So it's been used widely in petroleum exploration. It has very significant uses in medicine and medical imaging, and then a certain number of applications in military uses for communications, satellite navigation, drones, and missile systems, and as well as optical uses such as night vision goggles and things like that are very critical to the military needs. And then perhaps the largest and in many ways the most exciting growth for cesium is the use and usage in the next generation solar panels, or perovskites as they're known. And cesium has very, very exceptional photovoltaic qualities, and as such, it's small amounts in solar panels, will lead to significant improvements in efficiency. So this is a growth that is very, very critical for the solar industry, the green technology, cheap power, and this is something that's I think going to be coming more and more into view as a critical usage of this metal. So we think the future is very, very bright for cesium, and we think that there's as we see it, there's a very limited market for other sources coming on, and the cesium deposit type that we're drilling with pollucite is for sure the optimal host mineral for cesium. And in terms of the future processing of it, another extremely unique thing about cesium is that for a cesium mine in the initial stage, you can drill off the rock, extract it, and to process it and create a saleable product. You only have to crush the rock and then ore sort it using conventional ore sorting technology, and this concentrates the cesium into a concentrate. You need between 10 and 20%, and that is actually your product which you can sell to a chemical plant. And as such, you do not need expensive infrastructure like a mill, which can be in the hundreds of millions of dollars. You don't need a tailings pond. It's a dry process, and it has the potential to dramatically shorten the development timeline for a project, particularly because you don't need tailings, and it's more like a quarry than a conventional mine. So it has a combination of being very high value and potentially very low capex to get into operation. And Manitoba has a pretty good permitting regime, and we've had success there in previous projects. And as such, we believe that with this project can be moved forward very quickly. Yeah, so just to reiterate, the value of this material is extremely high. So to give the viewers a sense, cesium carbonate has gone up 80% since August. We believe this is due to a shortage of feedstock, and the carbonate price, which is the carbonate, is similar to in process to lithium carbonate, and it's over $200,000 US per ton, and that's roughly 20 times the price of lithium carbonate. So you can see it's extremely high metal value. If you take it in the metal form, 1 gram of cesium is about 2,500 US. So it's it's similar to the price of gold. So again, very critical and extremely high value. And as I noted earlier, only 3 mines ever believed to produce cesium ore. So that's, we believe the best commodity is one that nobody else has. And we think that that you have, and we think so. We've come across a very, very attractive development opportunity for our company. So where we are now, we're just starting to drill Falcon West. We knew that there was cesium in historical reported holes. To a certain extent, the geologists at the time, going back 20 years, didn't even recognize this. But we drilled a few holes in 2024 and got some high-grade cesium values. And now what we're doing is we're going into a target area, and we're gonna, the area on your screen is approximately 200 meters by 200 meters, and we're gonna drill, a series of holes here at about 10-meter spacing. We're going to between 60 and 70 holes, and try to define a resource, in the range of 10,000 to 100,000 tons, and that's really our stage one. And what's very kind of unique is the area that we're drilling is, while it's small, the zone that carries the cesium, it's very close to surface. So we think that this is going to be able to be extracted by open pit. So very, very cheap mining for a very high grade product. So a kind of a unique metal in many ways in terms of its value. And in this case, its proximity to surface and ability to make a high grade product without very much CapEx. Just like to move on to our next project briefly. We in Southeast Manitoba, we have a large land position. We have a number of deposits. Actually, we have a lithium deposit. And of course, most people know lithium hit the skids a few years ago, but now seems to be coming back. But we also have 2 base metal deposits. And about a year ago, we attracted Teck Resources, which is one of Canada's largest mining companies, integrated mining companies, and they're funding our Makwa project. They're putting in $17 million to earn 70% interest in the project over a period of 5 years. We made a discovery in the summer after flying geophysics, which we call the Pavlo anomaly, and that this is a near surface occurrence of nickel, and our target model is an Eagle's Nest type deposit. And Eagle's Nest, that deposit was acquired by an Australian company, Wyloo, in 2022 for $600 million. So these are very high value deposits, significant deposits, and we're currently drilling this, and we hope to have our first phase done before Christmas. So stay tuned for that one, because that we think that's a very exciting area and project for us. The area, this is a plan view of the magnetics of the project, and the Pavo target is at the very top of the map, and that's where we're drilling. But there's a number of other deposits and occurrences. Widespread mineralization on this property. It's very similar to the Ring of Fire in terms of geology and potential. So we're pretty excited about that. Just quick, those are 2 key projects that we're working on. Just in terms of our team, Dave Pack is a very experienced geologist. He heads up our exploration group, and Dave has experience with a number of major companies, including Anglo American, and he ran their nickel exploration division for a number of years globally. And Brandon Smith, who's with us today as well, he's our Chief Development Officer. Brandon was an analyst before he joined Grid, and we're pleased to have him. And our board, we have a good representative, and I point out Konstantin Karyanopoulos has joined us in the last year, and he's been on the board of a number of very successful companies, including Neo Performance Metals and Neo Lithium, which have been great success stories in the industry. So I think we have a good range on our board. This is our capital structure, and we currently have a market cap around $30 million Canadian. The share price has ticked up in the last few months. We're about 14 to 15 cents Canadian. You can see the outstanding, and yeah, we currently have just under 4 million in the bank, which is going to carry us through next year and our drilling and our initial development plans. And the Makwa project is it's funded by Teck, so that's a big part of our funding as well. That could be up to $2.5 million next year. And we think we have a real good potential to re-rate the company, through discovery on both cesium and our nickel copper project. On the right, you can see the two comparables, the companies with resources. Power Metals has a cesium resource in Ontario. You have a market cap about 4 times ours. Patriot Battery Metals has a very large cesium resource. That project is located in northern Quebec, which, because of its proximity and size, will take some years to permit. And so we think that there's a real unique opportunity in the cesium market to fill the gap for in the next 3 to 7 years for cesium supply. And on the left, you can see the market in values new base metal discoveries very highly, and we think we have a great opportunity to re-rate the value of the company through base metal discovery as well. Yeah, so just summarize, a key inflection point right now for the company with 2 drill programs underway. We're almost finished at Falcon West, and we'll finish the first phase at the Makwa project by Christmas. We recently brought in new funding and tech to help finance our company, so we're well situated to move forward financially. And we're focused geographically in southeast Manitoba, which has a high endowment of mineral deposits, and allows us synergies in permitting and engagement and infrastructure. And very importantly, we have a good relationship with First Nations in southeast Manitoba. So that's it for me for now. We're very excited by where we are as a company right now, and we think in particular 2026 will be a great year for the company as we move forward with our projects. So at this time, thank you for listening. I'd like to open it up to questions, and happy to answer those. Thank you. All right. I'll just look here. So the question I have here is, what are the latest resource estimates and economic projection for the Makwa and Mayville projects? So yeah, we do, as I mentioned, we do have 2 base metal resources in Manitoba, in southeast Manitoba, Makwa and Mayville. Together, they have over $3 billion of revenue. I think what we're trying to do with the Teck joint venture is make a new, higher grade discovery that will really put that whole project over the edge. And with the resource estimates are published on our website, and those are readily available. So we think there, particularly as copper prices rise, going to be more and more value to the company. I have a question here. How our land position in the Bird River Greenstone Belt compares to other junior explorers in the area? We control a very large position there, and we're the dominant land holder. There are some other companies, but we certainly have all the key claims that we're looking for. Tanco has a large position. That's the Canadian subsidiary of Sinomine, where the Tanco mine is. But we're very happy with our claim position. We don't have any claim conflicts or anything like that, and generally we own our projects 100%, subject to sometimes we have an NSR. That's more like a royalty on the project. So here's a good one. What milestones could serve as catalysts for re-rating or attracting strategic investment? Well, on that, we've already have attracted strategic investment. We want to attract more, I think, but really, we're at a really exciting time being at the drill stage, and the rubber's going to hit the road in the first, on both these projects. That's what the industry looks for is good values from drilling and to shape up the project. In the case of the Falcon West Cesium project, I think that's going to happen pretty quickly, and we get a sense that we'll have a very good opportunity here to firm up a resource, and 2026 we'll look to move that ahead if we're successful. So the next few announcements on the drilling at Falcon West will be very important for us. Yeah, the next similar question: what are the key data points investors should watch for in the next 6 to 12 months? In brackets, meters drilled, number of holes, assay turnaround. We just started drilling at Falcon West in October. We've already put out our first 5 holes, and we're doing our best to get more drill holes out before Christmas. And it's kind of our plan to have all the drilling out from the 60 to 70 holes that we're in the process of drilling by the end of January next year. So we're getting pretty good turnaround time. And so we want to move this forward quickly. And with that data, we probably will have to do a follow-up program in the first quarter of 2026. But we think we're going to have most of the data that we need to determine whether the project's a go, and the first phase will be an open pit, and get that going with metallurgical work and permitting for the project. So that work would the permitting and metallurgical work would occur simultaneously during 2026, with the goal to being in a position to announce operations, perhaps as early as 2027. We haven't determined that in finality yet, but the timeline for this type of operation is much faster than a conventional mine, because it's small, and as I said, you don't need tailings or a mill. So those are that's really for Falcon West. The project with Teck, I think, definitely has a longer timeline, but big upside in terms of making a discovery with the drill with a partner like Teck. It says, here's another one. What with multiple commodities, nickel, copper, cesium, lithium, how are we prioritizing capital between them for 2026 and 2027? It's a very good question. That's something that we look at very closely. The footprint size and budget for the cesium project is relatively small compared to most mining projects, and we think because of the scarcity of cesium, we can really stand out as a company globally if we have a cesium resource. So that's a certain amount of our capital is going to be focused on that. About $1.5 million of flow through will primarily go towards that project, flow through funding for exploration. And the Teck project will be funded by Teck, the Makwa project with Teck. So, provided Teck continues to fund that, and they have a annual review, and they let us know each year whether they're going to go forward, that will be funded. So we have a smaller interest in that ultimately, but it's non-dilutive financing. So those are our 2 key projects. If lithium makes a rebound, we'll certainly examine that, putting some resources towards that. But for now, we're going to be laser focused on the cesium, and also focused on the Teck project as well. The question I have: are there other metals besides cesium, nickel, and copper in our focus area? answer is with cesium, you also get rubidium, kind of a sister metal, and lithium. And we also have a lithium deposit in the area. There's also PGMs in the area. The Makwa project with Teck is actually, it's a polymetallic, so you have nickel, copper, generally platinum group metals, platinum, palladium, and cobalt as well. So the area has a lot of different metals, but it's two primary deposit types that we're focused on. I think that's generally covers most of the questions. So at this time, I'd like to thank everybody, and we'll look forward to following up with any questions that we get from investors. So please contact us at our website. And thank you very much.